All right, guys, today we're going to be doing some more angles in algebra, but solving in a different way. Sometimes we're going to use systems of equations using elimination instead of substitution. So let's do the odds together. So here we have x's and y's. So we're going to recall a procedure that we did in the past where we solve by eliminating either the x or the y. So in this case, this 3x and 2y, if added together, have to equal 180. So 3x plus 2y equals 180. And then on the bottom, this 4y and 1.5x also has to equal 180. So I'm going to write 1.5x plus 4y equals 180, making sure to line up the x's and the y's. So if you recall, we want to eliminate either the x or the y. So if I multiply this top equation by -2, that will give me -4, and I'll be able to eliminate the y's. So that's -6x minus 4y equals -360 if I distribute the -2 all the way across this equation. And then underneath, 1.5x plus 4y equals positive 180. So my 4y's cancel out. If I do -6 plus 1.5, I get -4.5x equals -180. Then I divide by -4.5, and we get x equals positive 40. So we found our x. Now we're going to plug it in and find our y. So I'm going to plug into that original equation. 3 times 40 plus 2y equals 180. So that's 120 plus 2y equals 180. Subtracting 120, I get 2y equals 60. And then dividing by 2, y equals 30. Okay, so we have our x and our y, and now we need to find our angles. So if I do 3 times x, which is 40, 3 times 40, this angle should be 120. And all the other obtuse angles should also be 120. And then 2 times y, which is 30, is 2 times 30. So that's 60. So far, we're on the right track because 120 plus 60 equals 180. So this should also be 60. This should also be 120. Then on the bottom, 4 times y is 4 times 30. And that is also 120. So we're good with those ones. And then 1.5 times 30 times x, not 30, times 40, that's where it gets confusing, is 60. So again, we did that correct. So this is 60 and this is 60. All right, so it's just another way that you can write an equation to solve for some missing angles. All right, so let's take a look at the next one. All right, same idea here. Here we have two angles that will add up to 180, and here we have two angles that will add up to 180. So try to write it in XY order. We have 8x plus 11y equals 180. And then underneath that, 22x plus 4y equals 180. So this one's not so nice to figure out the multiplying. So remember, you can sometimes multiply both equations in order to cancel something out. So I'm going to multiply this top one by -4 and this bottom one by 11 to help cancel out. So I get -32x minus 44y equals -4 times 0 is 0, -4 times 8 is 32, carry the 3, and -4 plus 3, or 4 plus 3 is going to be 7. So this is going to be -720. Then over here, 11 times 22 is 242. X. 11 times 4 is plus 44. Y equals 11 times 180 is 1980. And we can start to solve. So the 44's cancel out. 242 minus 32 is going to be 210x equals 1980 minus 720, which is 1260. Then we could divide by 210. and we get 6. Okay, so we started with some really large numbers, then we narrowed it down to a smaller answer for x being 6. So now we're going to plug it in and solve for y. So 8 times 6 plus 11y equals 180 gives me 48 plus 11y equals 180. Subtract the 48. We get 11y equals 132. And divide by 11, and y equals 12. So we've got our x and our y. Now we have to find our angle measures. So 11 times y is 11 times 12, which we just did in our math, and that's 132. Then 8 times 6 is 48. And luckily, 132 and 48 add together to get 180. So we know we're on the right track. So this should also be 132, and this should also be 48. Then down here, it's 22 times 6, which is 132 again. So we got that one equivalent to the top one, which is good. And then 4y is 4 times 12, which is again 48. So we got all our matching numbers and found all the missing angles. So this is a lot of work. You're going to take your time and go through the problems on the back on your own. Make sure you're checking in with me as you're working to be sure you've got it right.